Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I usually speak in Japanese, but today's video is in English because today I have a special guest, Russell.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Russell. I'm originally from Zimbabwe and in Africa, Southern Africa, and I'm 32 years old. And yeah, I'm currently a missionary here in Japan, Tokyo.
Yes, ありがとうございます. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to listen to your story today. So, how long have you in Japan now?
So it's almost 2 years now in Japan. Almost two
Almost two
years.
years. And you are in Tokyo now.
Yes, I'm currently in Tokyo.
All right. And then you are full-time missionary.
Yes, yes, now I'm a full-time missionary. I just quit my job and yes, I'm a full-time missionary now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Cool. So, how's the life as a missionary in Japan?
Life as a missionary in Japan, it's exciting, but also
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot to do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so many things to do. So currently I'm serving under Awakening Asia, under the Awakening Tokyo branch.
Mm-hmm.
So every day is different. Because we also have a ministry school
Yes.
I attend to. So also I'll be doing my second day in the ministry school,
Mm-hmm.
and this year I also got an invitation to intern under our senior pastor, Pastor Massa. So
Uh-huh.
I'm really excited to everything. So usually what a typical day looks like is usually our school runs from Wednesday to Fridays
Mm-hmm.
from 9 in the morning to around 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there we go. They teach us about evangelism, especially during the first year, the foundation
Mm-hmm.
of your faith in God, about your own sacred time, about your own intimacy with God. And then the second part, we get taught about, how to grow spiritually. You take some responsibilities, how to
Mm-hmm.
evangelize to people, how to share the gospel. And then the third part of the year is like the send part. You've been equipped, now you're ready to go out into the world to evangelize. So
Oh, so
yeah.
you actually go to the street in Tokyo and you preach the gospel and you talk to people?
Yes, every week we go out on the streets on the streets of Tokyo talking to people, sharing the gospel.
Wow. When you started, you felt nervous?
Definitely. Almost sometimes I still feel nervous, but especially when I was starting because this was my first time actually going out on the streets and
Mhm.
sharing the gospel. But I'm so grateful like for the our ministry school, like they equip us, like they tell us there's no need to fear, and they always challenge us to step up. So I feel like
Mm,
because the ministry school really helped me so much, I was so much equipped, so that they kept teaching us, practicing so many times, sharing with my classmates how to share the gospel, so that by the time we
mhm,
go on the street, it's something that you've already been doing for a while. So, but eventually, of course, at first I was more nervous, but then with
mhm.
time, I became more bold. So now I just go out on the street and then I just start preaching the gospel or talking to people, and yeah, I feel like
Wow,
my confidence really grew. The more I went out to preach, the more my confidence grew. So yes.
goodness. So you don't do by yourself. You sometimes maybe you sometimes do by yourself, but that as a team, as a team or as a pair, you go to people and then talk
Yes,
normally.
so we currently have like an outreach team at our church, outreach
Mhm,
team that is
mhm,
responsible for going out on the streets to preach the gospel. So I am currently one of the people leading like the outreach team as well. So usually every Sunday after church, we have two outreaches. Every Sunday after church, we go out usually to Ueno Park, and then we preach the gospel.
mhm.
The first outreach maybe 1 hour, and then the second outreach about 2 hours, just preaching the gospel. So every week we do it every week, and then also during the school year we go on Fridays, we go to Shibuya as well after class, and then for like 2 3 hours we are preaching the gospel in Shibuya.
Wow. Goodness.
Yes,
It's wonderful. Wow.
it
So
really is.
yes. So your missionary team has not only foreigners. I mean, in the same time, like there are Japanese people and then foreigners. Is mixed.
Yes, so it's totally mixed. So we are very fortunate. Like we have people from across the world, from America, from Hong Kong, from the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
from everywhere, and then also Japanese as well. So it's a mixture of different people from different places who just come together, and then we go out on the street, and then we're just sharing the gospel.
Wow. So in even in the big city, that there are many mostly Japanese people, right? So and then it's not that many who can speak English. So then there's a barrier of language.
Yes.
They can understand Japanese but not English and other language. So then how do you overcome the barrier?
The language barrier.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that's one of our struggles that we have because most of our team members, they're like international people, so
Hmm.
they're still learning Japanese, but then it takes a long time to really learn a language to be fluent in
Hmm.
it, especially if you want to share the gospel. Maybe just having easy conversations, it's okay, but maybe when you have to share the gospel, like you really have to know your Japanese pretty well. So there are
Hmm.
different ways that we do. So we have so many Japanese people in our church who can speak English so well. So usually when we are doing open air preaching, we have
Hmm.
someone preaching in English and then someone is translating in Japanese. So which makes it so much
Mm-hmm.
easier. So it's always like bilingual. Or if we have different groups, maybe we go out on the we are doing one-on-one evangelism or outreach. We split into small teams of 3 or 4 people, and then we always try to get to have someone who is bilingual to help. Let's say maybe I want to talk to someone, then I can just ask someone who is bilingual, hey, can you help me to go and talk to this person? And then we just start talking
Hmm.
to them. But then sometimes we don't have enough people who are bilingual. So in
Hmm.
that case, sometimes you just approach people and then you just the easy Japanese, like ask them, hey, do you speak English? Nihon, eigo hanasemasu ka? And then the simple.
Ah,
And then
you
some
ask
of them
about.
actually, yes.
Uh-huh.
So actually, some
Uh-huh.
of them, the young people, usually they speak pretty good English, and then
Hmm.
so we share the gospel with them. And then also sometimes we use Google Translate, but also sometimes it's so inconvenient because some people they don't want to be keep checking the translation every time. They prefer like a good like in-person conversation. So, but
Hmm.
it is a bit of a challenge to, especially if you can't speak Japanese. But we always try to find a way.
Yeah.
And then we also have some church cards as well
Hmm.
that we distribute. So these church cards are like they have we have English and Japanese ones, so they share a bit about the gospel. So maybe they cannot you cannot speak Japanese, so maybe you can give them the cards and then they can read it and then they can find out about the gospel or find our church if they're interested.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, and
Goodness.
then also we have another thing interesting. So our church also is like a cafe. We
Hmm.
have a cafe in our
Oh,
church.
yes, yes.
Yes, so it's like it's open during the week. So what we
Hmm.
usually do also for other Japanese people as well, because we have like usually for Japanese people, sometimes sharing the gospel is the first time they are hearing it.
Hmm.
And then so when you share, sometimes they're still trying to process, they don't fully understand. So what we usually do is we invite them. We have something that we call the English Cafe. So
Hmm.
every Saturday, every Friday and Saturdays in the afternoon. So they come, we're like, oh, do you want to practice English? Are you looking for
Yeah.
international friends? Then come
Hmm.
and visit us at our cafe at this time. And then they just come and then we're just talking casual, making connections, building
Hmm.
friendships. And then we know that, once they really trust you, once they see how kind and open you are, they actually
Hmm.
start to open their hearts and then it's easier to share the gospel that way. So
That is a great way because normally the people like the stranger come to the
exactly,
and then do you want to go to church and like no,
exactly.
who are
Yes,
you?
usually that's the response. So for them, it's like usually for Japanese people, the other challenge is when you share, they have this perception of like cult.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
inviting them like religion, it's some cult or this other thing. So it's like when you share something, they're like, oh, they think immediately they think, oh, you're inviting me to some cult, and then
Mm-hmm.
they are not open. So we
Mm-hmm.
found out usually when you like try to build friendship first, like let them get to know you, get to know your community. Especially we are so blessed to have such a beautiful community. People
Mm-hmm.
who come to our community, they always have so much fun. They say, oh, everyone is so nice, everyone is so good. Like I really want to be part of this community. So we,
Mm-hmm.
every time they get to experience our community and then they actually see, wow, these are really good people, they usually
Yeah,
open up their hearts and then we really get to share the gospel with them.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's really good.
And then, yeah. And the Japanese people are so into many people are so interested in learning Japanese,
And
and then
learning
they are
English, yes.
for learning they can speak
Yes,
Japanese. So, yeah, many Japanese people are looking for learning English.
yes,
Looking
yes,
for
yes.
places to learn English. So you know, if they found out the chance to practice English, it's just they naturally want to go.
Yes,
So
that's true.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So your church cafe is really good for those people, especially, and then go and then while practicing English, and then naturally hear the gospel from you all. So it's
yes, it's really good. And also what we do, especially for first time people, we have never been to our cafe. We meet them, we're like, hey, why don't you come for coffee? Like we usually give them free coffee. People who
really
come like yeah, when we meet them on the streets, we're preaching the gospel. Hey, why don't we hang out later during the week? You can come, like I can get you some coffee. So if they do come, we give them free coffee as well.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So people are
So
like a free coffee, I want to go.
exactly. So yeah,
Can
so it's really
practice English too. So it's wonderful. Wow.
yes, really good.
To evangelism, you talk to people sometimes, but is
Yes.
there any other way to reach out Japanese people to do something like
Oh,
a nice party or
oh yes. So
anything else?
actually, actually, we are always trying to find different ways of how we can reach Japanese people. Like, for example, during popular events like Christmas, sometimes we do events like Christmas party or pizza
Mhm.
party. And then we just invite people to come up to come, like international pizza party.
Oh,
We have
fun.
this event going on, and then we always try to invite people to come and join us. And then also every Sunday after our church service, we do like a house party. So
Mhm.
it's always open to different people. Like we have different foods and then we
Oh,
just
wow.
gather together, yeah, and then we just connect with people. And
Hmm.
yeah, so we always have besides going on the streets and preaching, we also host like different events as well, where we just
Hmm.
invite different people. Hey, bring your friend to the house party. Sometimes we make the food and then they just pay maybe a small fee, or we just ask someone like, hey, just bring your food, and then we just fellowship together, which is really good as well.
Wow. So even that they are not Christian, they can join and then they can have
Yes,
fun
it's
with y'all.
open to everyone. Yes,
Oh,
it's
that's
open
just
to
great
everyone. Yes,
ministry.
yeah.
Wow. So when you talk to people, when you reach out people, you go to the big city and then you talk to people. Um, how do you like? I've never talk to stranger and then
Mm,
talk about. I've never done. I talk about Jesus to stranger suddenly,
mm,
but probably you do. So
yes.
how do you start talking?
Okay, that's
I'm
a
just
very good
curious.
question too. Yeah. So how
Yeah.
to have a conversation or how to share the gospel with a stranger.
Hmm.
So there are different ways. I mean, you learn things from trying different things, and then so we because we have a different team, we always share ideas like, guys, what seems to work, what seems to not work. In Japan, as we have found, if you go to someone and say, hey, the Bible says, or in the book of Matthew, they have no idea of what you're talking about. Like it's different
Hmm.
from the Western world, where they already have an idea about Jesus is coming. If you say that, they already know what you mean. But for
Yes.
Japanese people, they have no idea.
No.
So, so it's kind of like you try to. Usually, what works is when you approach someone, maybe it's a couple. You can say, "Hey guys, I was just passing by, and then I thought like you look so cute together. Just give them a compliment. Usually they appreciate that. Or
Ah.
maybe they are wearing something nice, and then you're like, hey, I like your shirt. Like, where did you get it? Then they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I got it from you. I'm like, wow, it's so cool. It looks so good. And then maybe different ways. Maybe it's like around Christmas time. Maybe you
Mhm.
can say, hey, what do you have a moment? Like, do you have a few seconds? Usually they're like, yeah, sure. Then they're like,
Mhm.
oh, you can ask maybe something like, so what do you usually do for Christmas? People
Mhm.
celebrate Christmas. They say, well, what do you usually? And then they say, oh, maybe I go to party, I go to do
Mhm.
this, and they're like, oh, do you
Mhm.
know why people celebrate Christmas? Like, do you know where it came from? And then they start answering questions. So already you found a way to
Mhm.
like share the gospel with them, and then you start explaining, oh, actually, Christmas happened, where it came from. This is like Jesus was born on this day,
Mhm.
so we are celebrating the birth of Jesus. And then
Mhm.
also we also found out another way that works is you want it to be a dialogue, not just
Mhm.
you talking. If it's just you talking, they get
Mhm.
bored. So you also want to be them to, participate in the conversation. So a good way to do it is asking questions, like, hey, for example,
Mhm.
do you know where does life come from? And then they give you their answer, like, oh, any answer is okay, because usually sometimes Japanese people are so shy. So you can just say
Mhm.
any answer is okay. There's no wrong answer. Where do you think life comes from? What do you think happens when people die? Is there an afterlife? And then it's
Mhm.
like now it's more like a conversation. Like they are more interested in talking to you because it's not just you saying, "Hey, Jesus loves you. He's coming back. If you don't give your life to Jesus, you're gonna go to hell." Like it's so different.
Yes,
So we feel
right.
like yeah. So dialogue really helps. Like you're answering them. You're giving them time to speak as well. Like you really care what they're talking about. Then you're
Mhm.
also listening, and then the more they respond to you, you see according to their response how
Yeah.
you can go about sharing the gospel in the conversation. So it's
Yeah.
really good. It opens, and then you also get to share. Like also what works is sharing your testimony, something they
Mhm.
can also relate to. Like, oh, I used to struggle maybe with drugs, with addictions, with anxiety.
Mhm.
These are things that people also every day they struggle with. So
Mhm.
if you share it in that way, they can easily relate. Like, oh, I'm suffering with that. So if it worked for you, maybe it can also work for me as well. So
Mhm.
different ways to just try and share the gospel with them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Like, hey, I like your shirt. Like,
Yes.
その服かわいいね。where
Yes,
did you
it's true.
どこで買ったの? And then start a conversation, and then you
Yes.
start asking question, not like
Yeah.
suddenly, like don't share the gospel. Just start
Mm-hmm.
asking question about the life and death and life and
Yes.
struggle and ask questions. So people feel like, oh, I'm kind of interviewed by, interviewed
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
person, and then they start talking about
Yeah.
themselves, and then you slowly start talking about Jesus,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
yeah. Oh
Yeah. So we
wow.
found out like that's where it usually works. Like slowly getting into the gospel with them, but start
Mhm.
soft, so, like sure, like you care about what they are saying, like their opinion also matters as well. Like you're like,
Mhm.
oh, that's good, even if they say something that you feel like, oh, it's not the right way. Like really, just appreciating their own point of view, like how they view things, their own perspective as well, and acknowledging that as well. So they
Mm.
also feel like, oh, they're being heard. Giving
Yeah.
them time to speak as well, to express themselves as well.
Yes. Yes. So
Yes.
you feel it's very different from sharing gospel in other country, like in America and other country, and Japan. It's different.
Yes, I feel like it's totally different. I feel like
Mm.
it's totally, because I feel like people in the Western world, they already know about Christianity, about Jesus, like all the Bible, most of the
Yes.
verses, they already know all this. But for Japanese people, some of them they've never heard. Maybe some people they just know the cross, but they don't know
Mhm.
what it's for. Some have heard about
Mm.
Jesus, but they don't really know the story behind it. Or maybe they
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I go to a Christian school actually," but they don't really know the gospel as well. Like there are so many Christian
Right.
schools in Japan, but they don't share the gospel with them. So
Yes.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was the one who never heard the gospel. I've never heard.
Mm,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. So I really
So
understand.
usually when you share the gospel, you're like, wow, I've never heard this before. Like it's my first time hearing this. And then they're
Mhm.
like, usually they need some time to process. So usually we talk to someone, we always try to follow up with them, like, hey, can I have your contact? Like, let's talk later. Let's grab coffee later. Let's
Mm-hmm.
come to the house party. And
Mm-hmm.
then they are like usually open. Sometimes also some Japanese people, if you invite them directly to church, they are
Mm-hmm.
more skeptical. But if you invite them to like, hey, let's do coffee, come to house party, they are more open to it as well. So, but
Yeah.
also the most amazing thing, the most beautiful thing is every time we go on the streets, almost every week, two, three people receive Jesus, two, three people. And then we also pray for people, they get healed, which is just so
Oh
amazing.
wow. Hallelujah. It's
Yes,
wonderful.
really,
Wow. Thank
which
God.
is just really amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Like
Wow.
just last week there was a Japanese lady, an old lady. So one of our team members approached her, and then he just felt like being told like, oh, she has a pain on the knee. And then he approached her and then he asked her, hey ma'am, do you have like a pain on your knee? And then she's like, she was so surprised. She's like, wow, how do you know that? And he's like, well, the Holy Spirit spoke to me like, you have a pain on the knee. Can I pray for you? And then he prayed for her. And then she was
Mm-hmm.
completely healed. And then after she was completely healed, he asked, oh, would you like to be saved, to make a prayer of salvation? And then she said yes, yes, and then she got saved. So yeah, so it's really
Whoa.
amazing. Yeah,
Miracle.
yeah,
Goodness.
so many. So every week we have so many testimonies that we share every
Mm.
week. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's really amazing.
It's really amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
So while doing missionary in Japan, so what was the most hardest, like what do you have any struggle? I mean, you already you have struggle while doing missionary, of course, but the yeah, can you tell me any specific stuff?
Okay. Struggles.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, initially, before I came to Japan, I was in China. I was working in China. So when I came here to yes, so for more than 5 years.
Uh-huh.
So when I came here to Japan, I was not thinking of doing missionary work. That was the last thing on my mind. I was actually thinking of work. So, like, oh, I'm going to Japan to work for work and make money and be successful and be rich. That's what I was pursuing. So
Wow, so
initially,
you didn't
yeah,
come to Japan for you came to Japan for work,
yes, I
not
was coming here
missionary.
for work. Yes,
Oh my
not at
goodness.
all. Yes, I
Whoa.
know. I know. So
Okay.
I was coming for
Yeah.
work. So initially my background is computer science, like software engineering. So I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I will go to Japan maybe first year I learned Japanese language. And then second year, I find a Japanese company to work for maybe as a software engineer. So I
Mhm.
came here and then I'm like, oh, maybe let me just start by working as an English teacher, or at least I'm going to Japanese school. So I
Mhm.
started working here and uh, I started feeling God talked to me like, hey, I want you to pursue me. I want you to give up on your dreams, on your career goals, and pursue me. That was so hard for me because I'd really worked hard for this. I was chasing for money. I was chasing for success. And
Yes.
then, but God slowly started speaking to me like, I want to use you. I want to use you. I want you to pursue me. I want you to leave everything. That was really hard for me to let go. So it took a few months, but
Mhm.
then eventually my heart started opening up and be like, you know what, I could pursue success, I could pursue money, but if God is not in it, then what's the point? What's the
Mhm.
point in all this? And then also coming here as well, my community, the church I was going to, Awakening Tokyo, I see
Mhm.
so many young people who are so life surrendered, so passionate, so on fire for
Mhm.
God. And it really inspired me as well. I'm like, wow, I've been a Christian my whole life, but I've never seen so many young Christians who are so devoted like this. And then
Mhm.
really I got a strong conviction. And then eventually because I wanted to join like the ministry school, I felt God telling me to join the ministry school at our church as well. But then I
Mhm.
didn't have any savings. It's not something I was planning because I was also like, building something back home in my country. So every month I was sending home for that project. And then I didn't have any savings.
Mhm.
So I kept my job. I talked to my company. I told them, hey, I need to do this. It means I cannot work full time. Can I work part time? And then at first they were like, no, you signed a full time contract. You're a full time employee, so you have to work full time. Then I was like, okay, if that's the case, then I'm gonna quit because I need to do this. It's really something that's important to me. And then later they were like, actually, we can work something out. Maybe you can attend your school, and then after your school, you can come to work. So
Mhm.
during my first year of ministry school, I was doing school and then I was doing work, which was really hard. It was a huge struggle because I was always so exhausted every time. School,
Yeah.
soon after school, I rushed to work. I didn't have any
Right.
time. And then
Mhm.
also, I got to miss some mission trips that we used to do because of work as well, because of work commitments. So
Mhm.
I missed
Mhm.
most of those mission trips as well. So first year that was challenging. Work, I didn't have enough time. I was always tired, always busy. And then
Mhm.
eventually now I'm doing second year ministry school. Now I'm like full time. I quit my job. Then I'll be doing full time missionary. So I feel like the challenge is usually for some of us is like the finance part as well,
Mhm. Mhm.
because you're no longer working. If you didn't have any savings, it means in Japan it's also expensive to live here. You need to
Yes.
pay rent house.
Mhm.
You even need to pay taxes as well, even if you're not working. So I think that's also like a big struggle, a big challenge as well for most missionaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. But you have a, how can I say, you have the way, you had the way, you keep doing the engineering stuff, but you chose to deboard missionary in
Yes.
Japan. It's a big decision.
It was a big decision, really. Also, the other challenging thing is also my family.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, because it's like they're like
Mm-hmm.
expect a lot, like, oh, you're going to work, and then telling them all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm letting go of everything, and then I'm just gonna, especially my mom, she was like a single mom, single mother. She raised me and a little brother, and then she sacrificed a lot, sending us to college, so that we can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then now telling her, you know what, mom, thank you so much. I'm letting go of work. I'm gonna be a full-time missionary. So to her, it was really hard to like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you throwing everything away? What's the point? You can still serve God while you're working. You don't have to let go of everything. So there was a point of tension there when I decided to make that choice. But yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I always feel like God's plan is always better. Like, what's the point of
Yeah.
pursuing worldly success if God is not in there? I always feel like as long as I'm in the will of God, then I'm always going to be okay. Like, He's the one who gives me purpose for living,
Mm-hmm.
purpose of life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then He has just put me with so much peace and so much joy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all these other things I was pursuing. So, I'm really happy with the choice I made. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future,
Mm-hmm.
but I just trust that God has the perfect plan for me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm so excited for this new exciting season that's coming in my life.
Wow. It's how can I say, なんかすごいストーリー it's a great
It's a
story.
wonderful story. Oh.
Yeah. Wow. So now I want to ask about the life in Japan, and then
Mm,
you were living in China, and then you move to Japan,
yes,
right? So
yes.
is there kind of culture shock, or something you surprised about here?
Yeah, so many things. So, all right. So I will start with in China, usually, or where I come from, people are usually like direct with you. If they
Mm-hmm.
don't like something, or if they don't want to do something, they just directly tell you yes or no, I want. But I
Yeah.
feel like in Japan, they are more reserved. They don't really, you know, they are not direct with, even if you invite them to do something, maybe they don't want to do. Sometimes they just say yes for the sake of it. Maybe because
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to feel bad, to make you feel bad, something like that. And I also learned it's something called it's called what, hone
Mm-hmm.
and tatemae. Like people have two faces, like
Okay.
like in front of
Fine.
you. Exactly. Like in person, maybe they don't show their feelings with you. Like they pretend to smile, they are so nice, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
not really how they actually feel. So that was a
Mm-hmm.
bit of the culture for me, because I'm like, if you don't like something, why don't you just say it? It saves you so much
Mm-hmm.
time, and you don't have to do something you don't like. So that was also like a bit of a culture shock for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just finding out, like, the small cars, they were like really, so it looks so weird to me, like, wow, they have these small cars, what? It was a bit of a shock for me, and the
Small
roads are so
small car?
narrow.
Small car
Yeah,
is oh, car?
the K-like
Yes,
cars. Yeah, like
right. That size
yeah,
of car were not are not sold in America, right?
yeah.
In
Not
Japan.
in America, not in my
Mm,
country. Also, no. We usually have like bigger cars, or even like the houses are usually very big. But in Japan, it's like
mm,
everything is so small. And I'm like, what? That was also like a bit of a culture shock for me. Like, wow, this is so different. But also, I like how everything is just, everyone is so respectful. Everyone, they follow like rules. Like, for example, in China, it's safe, but they have to put security, like cameras everywhere to monitor people. But in Japan,
mm,
they don't have that, but everyone just follows the rules. Everyone is so nice, and it's also so safe here. So it's something I really appreciate about Japan
mm.
and the Japanese culture, like the
Huh?
culture of honor. Yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah,
Yeah,
really
safety
amazing.
and yeah, following rules. Yes. Wow. So about studying Japanese, how, so are you studying Japanese too a little bit?
Yes, so because I was working and I was doing ministry school, I didn't have enough time to really like do intensive studying.
Mm-hmm.
So I did study here and there, and also because I'm around the Japanese community,
Yes.
uh, I was able to pick up some
Mm-hmm.
words so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but now since I'm just doing ministry full time ministry, I no longer need to work. Now I actually have more time to study Japanese. So
Mm-hmm.
how I'm studying is I have a Japanese community around, so I just hang out
Mm-hmm.
with Japanese people, and also I have some textbook as well that I
Oh, good.
yeah that I follow. And then so right now I can read and write hiragana and katakana. That's what I was. Yeah, I can read and
Yeah.
write hiragana and
Oh,
katakana. And
good.
then next I'll move to kanji,
Mm-hmm.
and then also I also follow Saki on Instagram. She teaches us like how to share the gospel in Japanese as well. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for that. Thank you for that as well.
Oh, thank you. I hope it helps.
Yeah,
But
it
okay,
really
so
helps. Really helps a lot. So thank you.
good, good, good. Yeah, you have many Japanese friends in church and yeah, probably the outside of church too. So that's a good practice.
It
Is a
is. It really
yeah,
is.
real practice.
It really is.
Yeah, okay. So my students, many of them, they want to do missionary, and some are pastors who are going to go to Japan.
Mhm.
Um, so, do you have any advice or encouragement for people who are thinking to the missionary in Japan?
Yes, the Bible says, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. This
Mhm,
couldn't be more true for Japan. It's like,
mhm,
less than 1% of people like are saved. So like it means like more about 99% people need to hear the gospel. So there's
mhm,
like a lot of work to be done in Japan.
mhm,
uh, Many people they come here, they say Japan is hard, Japan is like a graveyard for missionaries, but that's not how we have seen it in our church, in our community. Like every street we go out on the street, we see people getting saved, their lives being transformed. So really
mhm,
Japan really needs people who are really dedicated to come
mhm,
here, to share the gospel, to shine the light of Christ in the life of people.
mhm,
And it's just so amazing. And then also something I would encourage, of course, learning the language is really good, because if you can speak the language, it's so much easier. It makes it so much easier to share the gospel. So that's
mhm,
a good way. For those who are already not pastors, people who are just starting out, I would encourage maybe
mhm,
join like a Bible school, or
mhm,
maybe like a ministry school like ours, like Awakening Asia School of Ministry, where you get
mhm,
equipped, like because they know how to talk to Japanese people. Like for me, it worked for me. I got equipped. I got taught like how to share the gospel, especially to Japanese people and across Asia. And then
mhm,
also, it also gives you like a community as well. Like because I think coming to Japan, it's so far away from home. You need people around. You need a community. If you're just by yourself, it
yes.
can feel
Uh-huh.
so lonely. Sometimes you're stressed. You have no people to pray over for you, people to be accountable to. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's really good to, like, find a community that you can be plugged in while it's trying in
Mm-hmm.
Japan, so that you're not just by yourself. Sometimes if
Yes.
you have problems, if you have troubles, you always have people who are out there to look out for you. So that's that.
Mm.
Yeah. So if people want to come to Japan, really, I would encourage them to really come, because yeah, there are so many people who really need to hear the gospel.
Oh, what an encouragement message. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
So, you you know, you have many people around you, but even that you sometimes feel loneliness, you sometimes
Mm.
feel.
Yes, definitely I do. Uh,
How do
I
you
do
overcome?
feel uh maybe get a girlfriend or something like that. I'm joking. But for me it's challenging, because my family is, like, is back. My family is all back home.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen my family in a while, and also my mom, like, she's in my country in Zimbabwe in Africa. My brother
Yes.
is in, my brother is in Europe, so it's like we are everywhere. So even if I go back home, I still don't get to see my brother, and vice versa. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
missing them, missing my friends back home as well. It
Mm-hmm.
does feel lonely sometimes, but what I do, of course, I get to talk to them, call them a lot on the phone. We get to
Mm-hmm.
connect, always try to update them, like how my day is going, how my life is going. And also,
Mm-hmm.
really, so, like, in our church, like, they really value community. So
Mm-hmm.
because of this community, honestly, it feels like a family. It feels like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is my family, these are my people. And also in our church, especially for our missionaries or students, we have like share houses, like boys share houses, girls share houses. So you never really feel lonely. It's like you always have people around you every time, people who you can be accountable to, people who are always praying for you, people who are always checking up
Mm-hmm.
on you. So it's always really good. Or we always have different things that we are always doing. We always go out. We always go to play, to eat together. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
good. So helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
love to see your church's story. Like almost
mm,
every day, celebrate somebody, and of course, they celebrate the salvation. People are saved, and they celebrate about it, and I love to see.
yes, that
Yeah,
would be
your
that would be awesome.
yeah,
That would be, yes.
yes.
Maybe next time when you come to Japan, you should come and visit our church.
I know, yes. I hope that my kids will easy on easy on me.
I know, especially when you're parenting as well. I know that's a
Yes,
challenge.
but yeah, definitely. Yeah, next time I'd love to visit.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We'll be
Yes,
waiting
yes.
for you.
Mm. So, what are your hopes or prayers, requests for the future?
So for the future, currently, I hope I can continue to evangelize,
Mm-hmm,
shine the light of Christ here in Japan.
mm-hmm,
My hope is, so currently I'm in a season of fundraising.
mm-hmm.
Like, I'm looking for supporters, people who can help me support monthly. Like, we have bills, rentals, we have taxes to pay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm,
and then I quit my job, and then also we have mission trips, not just
mm-hmm,
Japan, across
mm-hmm,
Japan, of course, and then also across Asia, different countries as well. Because
mm-hmm.
usually also we travel, like, to different churches. They come to our church, they also want to learn, hey, how do we evangelize to people? Like, people are so inspired by what we do, so they want to learn. So sometimes we travel, we are equipping other churches how to evangelize. So all those trips, they cost a lot of money and all these
Yes.
things. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm,
especially in the area of fundraising, if there are people out there who have a heart for Asia, who are willing, like, to support,
mm-hmm,
monthly supporters or just one-time donations, that
mm-hmm.
would be really helpful. And also
Yeah.
not just me, also our church as well, partnering with our church. Like, we always have different church plans. We're also planning to start another church plant in Shibuya and
Mm-hmm.
Kyoto and different areas. And we need people who can partner with us, so that we can go out and share the gospel. So,
Yes, I heard that last time we met in person.
mhm.
Yeah, the church in Ueno, right? Ueno in
Yes,
Tokyo, it's packed already.
yes, it
Yeah,
is.
so
It
have
is.
to build the new church. It's a,
Yes.
it's a
So,
great thing.
yes, it's really packed, and then also in summer, it's like very hot. So that's why also now we are planning on moving to another branch to Shibuya as well. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll be able to have another church opened in Shibuya.
Yes, that's really exciting. Thank you so much for joining me today. So
Yeah,
your story absolutely encouraged me and many people. 本当にありがとうございました。
yeah. Thank you so much for hosting me and letting me share my story to the world. And yeah, you're doing such an amazing job teaching missionaries how to share the gospel in Japanese and also encouraging us each and every time. So we really appreciate you as well. And also, if you're thinking of coming to Japan, please hurry up, pack your bags already. So many people are waiting for you here to come and hear the gospel. Come and share your
Oh,
life in Japan.
嬉しい。
Yeah.
ありがとうございます。Thank you so much. So
All right,
yeah,
you're
I'm
welcome.
looking forward to see you again.
All right, thank you so much, Saki.
Thank you so much.